So what are the best in-ear monitors for professional musicians? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to choose a good pair of in-ear monitors and tell you which ones I think are the best on the market today. So let's get to it. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. So there are 5 things that you want to look for in a good pair of in-ear monitors, and I'll share those 5 things with you. And at the end of this video, again, I'm going to tell you which ones I think are best. So make sure you stick around for that. And also, I'm going to strictly be talking about the in-ear monitor headphones, not the complete wireless setup systems and things like that. So the first thing you want to look for in a good pair of in-ear monitors are comfort. And this has to be the primary thing that you look for in a good pair of in-ear monitors, because no matter how good the other things are that I'm going to name on this list, if they're not comfortable, you're not going to even want to wear them in your ear, especially for long periods of time. So a good pair of in-ear monitors need to fit well. You want them to be able to fit snug in your ears to the point of when you move your head around or when you're moving your body around, they don't slip out of your ear. But at the same time, you don't want them to be so snug and tight that they clog your ears and give you a headache. So the way that they fit and the comfort level is the first thing you want to look for in a good pair of in-ears. Now, the next thing you want to look for is the amount of drivers that they have. And this is something that's always a part of the conversation when in-ear monitors are brought up. And you can think of drivers like tiny little speakers in the headphones. And the amount of drivers can range from 1 up to upwards of 10. And the thing that you should know is that not all drivers are equal, and more drivers doesn't necessarily mean better. There's a common misconception that 7 driver in-ear monitors, for example, are better than 3 driver in-ear monitors. And this is simply not true. If you have a pair of in-ear monitors with 7 drivers and all of those drivers are really crappy, they're gonna sound a lot worse than a really good pair of in-ear monitors with 3 drivers that have really nice, clean sound coming out of them. It's really just like speakers in the front of house sound and regular stage monitors. I'm sure you've seen and heard some of these massive setups with tons of speakers and the sound coming out of them was really crappy. And you've seen some of these setups that were very minimal, had minimal speakers and stuff like that, where the sound was really nice and clean and punchy. And it's the same thing with in-ear monitors. So more drivers doesn't necessarily mean better. Now that said, there does seem to be a small threshold to meet as it concerns the amount of drivers in in-ear monitors if you want a well-balanced, well-rounded sound coming out of your in-ear monitors. And that threshold is generally around 3 drivers. And again, that's very general, as there are some really great sounding single and double driver in-ear monitors. But 3 drivers does seem to be the sweet spot with a lot of brands and a lot of in-ear monitors. Now, right before we get to the next thing, if you're getting value out of this video so far, do me a quick favor and hit the like button on this video. That helps out with the YouTube algorithms and helps this video get shared and things like that. So go ahead and do that now. Now, the next thing you want to consider when looking for a good pair of in-ear monitors are whether or not you're going to go with Moles or a universal fit. Now, inevitably, when the subject of in-ear monitors come up, you will hear people talking about Moles versus a universal fit. And if you don't know, what Moles are is when an audiologist takes an imprint of the inside of your ear canal and they use that to send to in-ear monitor companies, and the in-ear monitor companies use that to make a custom fit headphone for your ear. So as a result, you have a more customized, tailor fit in-ear monitor to go in your ears. And ideally, these should fit very comfortably, but it isn't always the case, which is why you really want to consider Moles versus universal fit. And a universal fit is really simple. It's just the way that the in-ear monitors come out of the box. But sometimes when you get Moles done, they can fit very snug and very tight, which for people like me is very uncomfortable to wear for extended periods of time on stage. And how well they fit are largely dependent on how well the audiologist takes the imprint of your ear and how well the in-ear company actually models that ear fit to go in your ear. So if any little small thing is off about that measurement, like they didn't do it right, or it was sent off and it didn't go through the mail, or it was squished when it went through the mail or something like that, you may get a bad pair of custom fit in-ear monitors. So moles aren't always the best way to go when it comes to getting in-ear monitors. monitors. And a lot of these companies have come a really long way with their universal fits to where they're extremely comfortable. And actually the ones that I'm going to recommend to you at the end of this video are not Mo's, they're universal fit and they're extremely comfortable. But going with Mo's versus a universal fit is definitely something you need to consider when looking for a good pair of in-ear monitors. Now the next thing you need to consider is durability. So in-ear monitors are notorious for having issues like the cable going out, the attachment of the cable to the actual in-ear monitor that goes in your ear not being securely attached, them cracking or breaking if you dropped them, and on and on. So you want to make sure that you have a good pair that can hold up in these areas. And in most cases, you're going to be carrying these cables around a lot to gigs. You're going to be pulling them in and out of your ear. You're going to be wrapping the cable and putting them in a box and on and on. And this can cause some wear and tear. And you don't want a pair of in-ear monitors that's just going to go out after a few times of using them. So you want them to be durable enough to withstand the normal wear and tear and minor incidents, so they need to have some staying power. But the good news is that most professional grade in-ear monitors are going to hold up pretty well in this area. They're going to be pretty durable, so it's nothing that you have to worry too much about. So just make sure you check the reviews and things when you're looking for a good pair of in-ear monitors. Check what people are saying and see what they're saying about the durability of them. Now, the next thing you want to consider are the auxiliary needs that you need in your in-ear monitors. So the auxiliary needs are things like the cable length. How long do you need the cable on the in-ear monitors to be? Most in-ears are going to come in the standard 52-inch cable, some less, some more. But this is something to consider because if you're plugging them into something that may be a little further away, then you may need a longer cable and vice versa. And another auxiliary need to consider is whether or not you want a microphone on the cable for talking purposes. So a lot of the in-ears on the market double as in-ears for stage and in-ears for daily personal use. So some of them come with the microphone on the cable so that you can talk when you plug them into your phone. So that's something good to have if you plan to use them for daily things like going to the gym and working out or talking on the phone or even Zoom calls. And another auxiliary need is Bluetooth. A lot of the in-ears on the market have Bluetooth adapters and Bluetooth connectivity capabilities. And this is something that's good if you're planning to use your in-ear monitors to connect to some Bluetooth source. Bluetooth is not generally something that's used that much on stage for sound connectivity, but it is something to consider if it's one of your needs. So what are the in-ear monitors that I think that checks all of these boxes that are the best on the market today for musicians? It's the Westone UM Pro X30s. These in-ears are crazy comfortable and they're my go-to in-ear monitors that I use all the time. They have 3 very clean and clear drivers in them that produce the whole frequency spectrum really well, and they're extremely durable. I've pulled the cable and dropped them a few times and they still work perfectly. And this makes them really great no matter what instrument you play. So even if you play a low-end instrument like bass or you need them for your drums or your kick drum, they produce those frequencies really well. So if you're looking for a really good pair of professional in-ear monitors, I highly recommend that you add the Westone UM Pro X30s to your gear list. And I'll leave a link to them in the description of this video, so be sure to jump down and check that out. And speaking of professional gear, make sure the next thing you do is jump over and check out these 2 videos about gear right now.